So was it the hack of the decade, a modern-day Pearl Harbor, or a historic mess? Regardless of what your metaphor is for the SolarWinds hack, we can all agree that it is going to reshape cybersecurity policies and the practices for government entities and private enterprises for years to come. At this scale, the scope of this attack is jaw-dropping. Since the news broke on December 13th, SolarWinds found itself caught in the middle of an escalating cyber war and a broader scale of supply chain attacks in which another company could have just as likely ended up being the target. Now, Gartner says that the cybersecurity spending is expected to reach $123 billion, whereas the global cybersecurity losses are going to tally up to $1 trillion in 2020 alone. I have already covered the technical details of the hack. So in this video, I want to share what makes SolarWinds or supply chain hacks such a big deal. If you're a cybersecurity professional or a network engineer with a focus on security, hang in there, be right back. So at 10,000 feet, these are the 5 attack aspects that make supply chain attack super difficult to detect and guard against. As per Microsoft, about 7% of the cyber attacks involve supply chain compromise and they are on the rise. The whole cybersecurity market is centered around the attacks that come from the front door. All front door hacks require the actions of the user to allow the malicious software or malware to infect the system. The most common ways in which this style of attack is disguised are emails, web browsing, or downloads. Once you have allowed the malware to enter your machine, it then has control of all of your files and folders, i.e. your data. The hackers then can run a program with all your rights and privileges. So as front door attacks require access to be granted by you, so you are the only one who can stop them from getting in. Now, on the other hand, the backdoor hack grants unauthorized access to an entire system via software or network vulnerability. SolarWinds hack is an example of a Trojanized backdoor attack. You can throw a lot of tools and infrastructure at front door attacks such as firewall, IPS, endpoint detection and response, for example, the Cisco AMP, even network segmentation, but unfortunately that's not true for the backdoor attacks since there are no good defenses against them, especially if the exploits are buried inside your software supply chain. Now let me share with you 2 interesting statistics that I came across while researching for this video. So there is a McAfee study that was done in 2017 and it says a large enterprise with 50,000 employees uses nearly 800 custom applications. Secondly, GitHub reported in 2019 that an average software project depends on more than 200 other components and 94% of the projects now rely on open source components. Well, that brings us to the most critical aspect of the supply chain exploits, which is the third parties themselves. In a typical supply chain, you have software libraries like raw material that come from various suppliers. In some cases, you don't even know who and where the suppliers are because the software was distributed to you by someone in the software distribution. So where I'm going with this is that the involvement of third parties, including open source software, contained a potentially endless attack surface. So if this wasn't enough, there is also an aspect of limited visibility, as I mentioned earlier. So in the recent past, we have seen hackers successfully exploiting supply chain components such as compilers, like malware-infested versions of Apple Xcode or Microsoft Visual Studio. In the case of famous Target attack, hackers used stolen credentials from a US-based HVAC provider to gain access to Target's main data network, and that cost Target about $300 million. In the case of SolarWinds Orion hack, the Trojanized hack was directly put into their source code by hackers who appeared to know the Orion code architecture and design very well. Enough said. Another layer of complexity about supply chain or backdoor attacks is that once hackers are in, they have keys to the kingdom, so to speak. From the SolarWinds supernova attack, we know hackers had admin credentials which allowed them to bypass Cisco's Duo multi-factor authentication or MFA. Once the hackers are inside, the attack surface in these cases are virtually unlimited. What am I talking about? They can stage a secondary C2, a command and control, download second stage payloads, harness privilege escalation, lateral movement, and persistence, to name a few. So in the case of SolarWinds Orion hack, SolarWinds have already made the patched files available, but how do we know that there is not yet another latent backdoor inside the newer updates? It is also plausible that hackers considered the prospect of being caught and thus hosted other hacks for future use. Yet another alarming aspect of the SolarWinds hack is the attack detection or discovery complexity. Remember, we only know that SolarWinds Orion was hacked because hackers made an unforced error. They hijacked the remote VPN access credentials of a FireEye employee and successfully logged in. Fortunately, we're talking about a cybersecurity firm located in Silicon Valley that has the bench strength to investigate such things. The legend has it that the FireEye investigation team consisted of 100 experts who combed through 50,000 lines of code over 3 days to uncover the exploit. I'm sorry, I just don't see very many firms around the world who will be able to conduct this kind of investigation. Now, there is one more aspect of cybersecurity, and that is threat actors. The most potent of them are nation state actors, which are handpicked and tasked to hack a target entity. They have virtually unlimited resources like monetary and technical resources at their disposal. In the future, we may even see nation state actors impersonating another nation to sow confusion about who perpetrated the attack. Now, this brings me to full circle to where I started this discussion. Supply chain attacks are rising. There is virtually unlimited and unrestricted attack surface in the form of third party and open source software, and we can't wean off of them if over 94% of projects are using them on GitHub. As an example, if that wasn't enough, supply chain backdoor attacks are also complex to uncover and increasingly funded by the nation state actors with unlimited resources. Now, it is clear to me that we're at a scary place, and unless the whole cybersecurity industry quickly pivots to supply chain or backdoor hacks prevention, we're screwed. I think a place to start is to first acknowledge that there is no such thing as a private network or private servers, and then enforce a chain of trust for each workload running inside an organization with the root of trust buried inside the server hardware. I hope you found this discussion helpful, and if you did, be sure to feed your thumbs up to the YouTube algorithm. I've included pointers to the studies that you can find in the video description. I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.